Will and Lily are best friends, but they live in different cities. Will misses her very much and goes to her city by train. On the train, Will puts his gold watch on the table and makes himself comfortable. The train goes into a dark tunnel for a few seconds. When it gets light again, Will can't find his watch. There are 3 people in his compartment. He questions them all. "Who stole my watch?" Meg says, "I was sleeping all the way." Xavier replies, "I went to order a cup of coffee." And Dan says, "I was waiting until it got light again to keep on reading." Who's the thief? Xavier. He hid the watch on his wrist under the sleeve. A watchmaker calls the police and says that he's just been robbed. Inspector Bold takes the case and rushes to the watchmaker's house.
I was finishing my work at about 8 p.m. Suddenly, the power was cut off. I went to the terrace to fix it. Suddenly, 4 men knocked me over and tied my hands. They stole all the money and left. At 10 p.m., I managed to get rid of the ropes. I fixed the lights and called the police.
Inspector Bold doesn't believe this story. Why? If the watchmaker had no electricity, his digital clock would have been 2 hours slow. He faked the robbery to get insurance money. Mr. Green throws a party in his mansion for all his friends and colleagues. He puts on his favorite shirt and diamond cufflinks. The party is a success. It gets dark and all the guests go out to the terrace to watch fireworks. Suddenly, Mr. Green notices that one of his cufflinks is gone. He looks around and quickly spots the thief. Who stole the cufflink? Take a look at this lady. She hid it in her hair. Busted! Molly goes for a walk with her friends. She has just gotten her first salary and she wants to buy some candies. Molly notices a small shop with chocolate and lollipops. They approach the shop. Molly takes her money out of her wallet, but a sudden gust of wind blows the bills away. Molly gathers her money, but one $10 bill is still missing. One of her friends must have taken it. Who took the bill? This guy. He's standing on it. Mike and Ike are brothers. Mike is a millionaire, and Ike is broke. Can you guess who is who? It's not his car, so he's probably Ike. Meanwhile, the cyclist has a luxurious car key. Therefore, he must be Mike. One of these ladies is broke. Can you guess who? It's the lady on the left. Her phone is fake. Karen works in a business center. One day, she was found unconscious in the bathroom. Doctors conclude that she was poisoned. The detective watches the CCTV. He sees 3 people who talked to Karen that day. The detective interviews these people. He asks one question. How well did you know her? Peter says, Laura worked in my department. She used to bring papers for me to sign from time to time. Kelly replies, We got along pretty well. Sometimes we had lunch together, and we plan to go to a concert next week. And Sandra says, I don't know her at all. We only talked once when she asked me what time it was. She lost her phone, and that's not surprising. Karen is so absent-minded. She's always losing things. Who poisoned Karen? Sandra. First, she said that she didn't know Karen at all. Then she called her by name and started talking about her traits. Lauren meets Jack on a dating app. They chat for a while, and today is their first date offline. Lauren arrives at the meeting point and sees Jack, but something's wrong with this guy. Can you guess what? Take a closer look at his profile picture. He has a mole on his cheek. Where did it go? Kevin is walking in the woods. Suddenly, a wicked witch pops out of nowhere and kidnaps him. Kevin wakes up in her cabin. The witch says,
"You're my servant now. Clean up the kitchen while I'm gone. And don't even think of running away. The first door is guarded by hungry dogs. There's a vampire behind the second door. And there's toxic gas behind the third door. You'll never get out of here."
but Kevin still finds a way to escape. Can you guess how? He used the garlic from the kitchen to chase away the vampire and escaped through the second door. There's a huge drama taking place in a prison for dangerous criminals. The prisoners have broken out of their cells and now they're trying to escape from the territory of the prison. The local manager realizes that the only way to solve this issue is to ask a superhero for help. But their fees are very high. That's why the manager can only afford to hire one superhero. Mr. Scanman can see and pass through any obstacle. Magnetus has the ability to control all the metals in the world. And Mr. Fireman controls sparks and evokes fire with the power of his mind. Who can help stop the prison uprising? Magnetus will be able to lock all the cells and put handcuffs on everyone. So he's the best choice for this task. Rick takes 2 pictures of his girlfriend. Can you find 5 differences between them? Ready to see the differences? Here they are. Nina goes to the supermarket. She picks up all the products and goes to the cashier to pay. Oh no! Her expensive leather wallet is gone! Nina interrogates 3 suspects standing nearby. Mike says, "I didn't see your wallet at all. I was too busy choosing chocolate bars." Stan says, "I'm a vegan lady. I don't use leather wallets. And I make all my payments with my phone." And Stella says, "I think it was Mike. He doesn't look like someone who can afford to buy so much gourmet food." Who's lying? Let's take a closer look at Stan's shirt pocket. There's a leather wallet inside it, but he said that he only pays via his phone. Therefore, his story is a lie. Emma is a conductor on a train. She makes her way through the cars and finally arrives at the first class. There are only 3 passengers. Emma asks to see their IDs. The passengers hand over their cards. As Emma scans the cards, she finds out that one of the IDs is fake. Can you guess which one? The first ID is fake. Take a look at this guy's birth date. February 31st doesn't exist. Richard returns home from work and discovers that someone has robbed his apartment. He calls the police and they question 3 neighbors living on his floor. Sheila says, "I was outdoors with my boyfriend all day. We arrived home 1 minute before you came over." Zach says, "I was sleeping with my earplugs after a long night shift and you woke me up. I didn't notice anything suspicious." And Alice says, "I spent the whole day working from home. I only went out once, about 2 hours ago to do my laundry in the basement." Who's lying? Let's take a look at Sheila's kitchen. She said they had returned just 1 minute ago, but there's a pot with boiling water on the stove. It takes more than a minute to boil so much water, so her story is fake. 3 friends are hanging out at a barbecue, but one of them has been replaced by a monster. Can you guess who? this lady. Her eyes are too yellow for a regular human. And now let's find out how sharp your vision is. Can you spot these 3 items in this mess? Ready to see the correct answer? Here they are. What about this location? Can you spot these 3 items? Over here. Mike was on his way to visit his grandma, who lived on the other side of the valley. It was her anniversary, so he wanted to give her the cakes he had made. Between Mike's house and her house, the guy had to cross 5 bridges. And as it was in the land of make-believe, there was a troll under every bridge. Each troll insisted that Mike pay a troll toll. Before the guy could cross their bridge, he had to give them half of the cakes he was carrying. But since they were kind trolls, each of them gave Mike back an entire cake. How many cakes did Mike have to take with him to make sure that he arrived at his grandma's house with exactly 2 cakes? Mike needs to take 2 cakes. At each bridge, he's required to give half of his cakes, and he receives 1 back, which leaves him with 2 cakes after every bridge. Last week, the local primary school was visited by a school inspector who was there to make sure that teachers were performing well in the respective classes. He was very impressed with one particular teacher. The inspector noticed that each time she asked a question, every child in the class raised their hand, eager to answer it. Even more surprisingly, even though the teacher always chose a different child to answer the question, the replies were always correct. What was the secret? All the children were instructed to raise their hands whenever a question was asked. It didn't matter whether they knew the answer or not. If they did not know the answer, however, they had to raise their left hand. If they knew the answer, they would raise their right hand. The class teacher would choose a different child each time, but always only the ones who had their right hand raised. Mr. Brown opened a newspaper in the morning and saw a headline, "Workers want to make less money." He was confused until he read the article. What was going on? The workers who wanted to make less money worked at the mint and were tired of being overworked. They want to work less, which means making less money since the money is made at the mint. A frog is at the bottom of a well. To get out of it, it needs to climb 30 feet. Each morning, the frog jumps 3 feet up the path, but each night, as it sleeps, it slips 2 feet back down. Thus, at the beginning of the first day, the frog has 30 feet to go. At the beginning of the second day, it has 29 feet to go, and so on. How many days will it take the frog to get out of the well? It'll take 28 days for the frog to get out. In other words, it'll get out on the morning of the 28th day. This is because at the beginning of the 28th day, the frog has 3 feet left to travel. And since the frog jumps 3 feet forward each morning, it will jump out of the well on this day. A man worked for a high-security institution. One day, he went into work only to find that he could not log into his computer terminal. His password wouldn't work. Then he remembered that all the passwords were reset every month for security purposes. So he went to his boss and said, "Hey boss, my password is out of date." The boss answered, "Yeah, that's right. The password is different, but if you listen carefully, you'll be able to guess the new one. It has the same number of letters as your old password, but only 4 of the letters are the same." The man answered, "Thanks, boss," went back to his computer and correctly logged into his station. What was his new password? You'll get an extra smart bonus if you guess what his old password was. I'll give you a hint. The man's password is 9 letters long, and it can be more than one word. The old password was out of date, and the new one is different. The man said, "My password is out of date," and the boss told him the new one when he said, "The password is different." Many years ago, one guy was captured by an evil witch who kept him in her house. There was a cellar door in the house, and the witch warned the guy to never open it because he was not ready to see what was behind it. Can you guess what was on the other side of the door that the witch didn't want the guy to see? The guy was actually locked in the cellar, and on the other side of the door is the rest of the house and the outside world. The witch just didn't want the guy to escape. Marty and Jill want to copy 3 60-minute tapes. They have 2 tape recorders that will dub the tapes for them, so they can do 2 at a time. It takes 30 minutes for each side to complete. Therefore, in 1 hour, 2 tapes will be completed, and in another hour, the third will be done. Jill says all 3 tapes can be finished in 90 minutes. How is it possible? Jill will rotate the 3 tapes. Let's call them tapes 1, 2, and 3, with sides A and B. In the first 30 minutes, they will work with 1A and 2A. In the second 30 minutes, they will record 1B and 3A. Tape 1 is now done. Finally, in the last 30 minutes, they will tape 2B and 3B. Let's say you have 2 jugs. One of them holds exactly 3 gallons, and the other holds 5 gallons. With the help of just these 2 jugs and a fire hose, how can you measure out exactly 4 gallons of water? Fill the 5-gallon jug to the top, then pour it into the 3-gallon jug until it's full. You now have 2 gallons of water remaining in the 5-gallon jug. Pour out the water from the 3-gallon jug, and then pour the 2 gallons from the 5-gallon jug into the 3-gallon one. Finally, fill the 5-gallon jug to the top and pour it into the 3-gallon jug until it's full. There was only space left for 1 more gallon in the 3-gallon jug, so you now have exactly 4 gallons in the 5-gallon jug. One day, a boss told his employees, "I can fight and beat any man who works here." A new employee, a 7-foot-tall ex-prizefighter, decided to challenge the boss. Interestingly, the boss won the bet, even though he didn't defeat the man. What did the boss do? It's simple. Not to lose face, he fired the new employee on the spot so that he didn't work in the company anymore. Now let's check how attentive you are. Look at this note. Can you find a mistake here? The mistake is actually in the task itself, at the end. See? The word find is misspelled. The next task is even trickier. Can you spot a heart-shaped berry among all these berries? Right, here it is. Wow, that was tricky. Look at this watch. What's wrong with it? The time is messed up. After 8, we've got 11, then 10, and then 9. How about this image? What's wrong here? Actually, there's 2 mistakes here. The prices with the numbers 3 and 18 are placed upside down. This situation can't exist in reality. Why? If we compare the size of the cargo ship and the width of the passage, we'll understand that it's impossible for such a huge vessel to squeeze through such a narrow passage. And this picture, there's something seriously wrong with it. Can you figure out what exactly? Look at the calendar, September 31, but this date doesn't exist.
Megan here is a popular blogger from New York.
Hello.
Today, she's meeting her bestie, Rosie, in her favorite cafe.
Hello.
They're both on a diet, so they only order herbal tea and a piece of chocolate cheesecake to share. Megan and Rosie have a great time together and post some food pictures. But an hour later, Rosie faints. Doctors reveal that she was poisoned. Let's take a look at Megan's post. Can you figure out where the poison was? Rosie put sugar in her tea, and Megan didn't, so the poison was in the sugar packet. After taking care of Rosie, Megan's finally headed home. The door in her apartment building has a combination lock, and someone has recently changed the 4-digit password. Luckily, Megan finds a hint nearby. Can you help her figure out the new code? Multiply the first and last number. Then multiply the second and the third number. And the code is 2516. Megan goes up to her apartment. There's a stunning sunset going on out the window. She takes 2 pictures for her Instagram. Can you find 5 differences between them? Ready to see the differences? Here they are. Megan decides to eat some snacks and watch the videos of her favorite bloggers. One of these 2 ladies is a millionaire, while the other one is broke.
Oh.
Can you guess who is who? The second lady is broke. Can you see the Eiffel Tower and Big Ben in the background? She can't be in Paris and in London at the same time, can she? So her photo is fake, as well as her fancy lifestyle. Megan gets some cheesy comments from one of her subscribers,
What?
Evil Eye. But she doesn't take it seriously. She spends a great night with her friends. Late at night, Megan is walking back home alone. Suddenly, Evil Eye appears right in front of her. He grabs Megan and puts her into the trunk of his car. Megan faints. After a while, she wakes up in a basement and sees her fan drawing some sort of a flower on the floor. He says, "2 letters are missing here. Guess which ones and I'll set you free. If you don't, you'll stay here forever." Can you help Megan out? The missing letters are M and E. Megan returns home and discovers that someone has stolen her laptop. Well, this just isn't her day, is it? She calls the police and they interrogate 3 neighbors. Holly says, "I was cleaning my apartment with loud music playing, so I didn't hear anything suspicious." Paul said, "I was walking my dog for the last 2 hours. We just returned home. Everything looked as usual." And Alex said, "I spent the whole day at home. I only went out once, about an hour ago, to take out my trash. I noticed a strange guy in a hoodie at your door, but he left very quickly." Who's lying? Alex. He said he had taken out the trash, but take a look at his trash can. It's still full. The next day, Megan gets good news from the police. They caught Evil Eye, and he's in jail now.
Oh, yes.
He insists that the officer should give this note to Megan, but she has no clue what this means. What about you? Ready to see the solution? The note literally says, jailbreak at 11 a.m. Yay! Megan's favorite blogger has just posted a What I Ate in a Day video.
Oh, yes.
See if you can spot anything odd here. Wow, she keeps a saw in the fridge. Here's the next video. Can you spot any mistakes? Yep, this rainbow is fake. Today is Megan's 30th birthday. She's been preparing for a party for weeks. She bought a beautiful dress, cooked plenty of food, and decorated the apartment. A lot of friends are invited, including Megan's boyfriend, Jeff. Before the event, he calls Megan, saying, "I'm in the office right now, but I promise to be at your place at 8 o'clock." Jeff comes home at 8:05. He brings flowers, a birthday cake, and a diamond necklace. But Megan is really mad. She throws the flowers into his face and bursts into tears. Why? Megan was expecting him to arrive at 8 p.m., but he came at 8 a.m. the next morning. In the evening, Megan decides to go buy some ice cream. She walks towards her favorite corner store on the block. Megan meets the owner of this store, Ted, on the street. "A masked man has just robbed the store and took all the cash." Megan explores the space and the broken shelves. Then she says, "I don't think it was just an ordinary robbery. The thief must be your enemy."
Oh, really?
How did she know? Take a closer look at the floor. The salt packages have been torn. Also, the thief opened the bottles so that the oil would leak out on the floor. Why would an ordinary thief waste time opening the bottles? Therefore, they had an intention to cause as much damage as possible. Megan takes Ted out for coffee to cheer him up. The waiter brings them 2 identical servings. Well, almost identical. Can you spot 3 differences between them? Here they are. Megan gets an invitation to a fancy party for bloggers.
Yes!
Only those who can crack this maze will actually find a way in. Can you help Megan reach the party? She should choose the 3rd route. Megan reaches the final destination. There are 3 doors, all covered with graffiti. Can you help her guess where the party is taking place? Let's take a closer look at the lettering on the doors. If we replace each letter with the previous one in the alphabet, we'll get party, toilet, and exit. Therefore, Megan should enter the 1st door. Security guards at the party got a report. Several criminals are planning to get in. That's why they scan everyone's bags very carefully. They find 3 suspicious people and arrest them. But one of them is innocent. Can you guess who? The second lady carries too many phones in her bag. A couple of smartphones and one old-fashioned button phone. As for the third guy, why would a bald man need shampoo at a party? It seems only the first lady isn't a criminal. Megan enters the party and goes to the bathroom to refresh her makeup. There, she meets 3 pretty ladies. 2 of them are vampires. Can you tell who's not? This lady who's standing next to Megan is a human because she has a reflection. Therefore, the 2 others are vampires. Megan wants to rent a cozy cabin to spend a weekend in the woods. She's looking through a special app and finds 4 available options, but only one of them is safe enough. Can you help Megan make the right decision? The second house looks pretty cozy, but there's a creepy clown hiding behind the tree, and the price is suspiciously low. According to the info box, the third house was built 9 centuries ago, but it looks pretty modern, so it's probably a scam. The fourth house is chic and high-tech, but the window glass is covered with cracks, which is not safe at all. So Megan should choose the first cabin. Finally, it's the weekend. Megan hits the road to go to the cabin. On the way, she makes a stop to visit the local farmer's market. Megan picks some lemons. She wants to pay, but her phone is gone. She interrogates 3 people standing nearby. Kim says, "I didn't touch your phone. I was too busy selling my tomatoes." Magna says, "I was taking pictures of my shop for social media. See for yourself if you don't believe me." And Bianca says, "I think it was Kim. Her business has not been going well recently." After hearing what they had to say, Megan knows for sure who's the thief. What about you? Check out Magnus's basket with vegetables. He hid Megan's phone among the carrots. Megan orders a beverage at the local coffee shop and looks around. One of the customers is not human. Can you figure out who? The waitress. Her eyes are blinking red. Maybe she didn't get a tip.
Hey dear friend, do you feel like your brain needs some action? I've got just the thing. Concentrate and try to prove you're the best detective out there.
Yeah.
One lady had 2 admirers. One day, she urgently needed cash, but both men told her they were not ready to give her money. At the same time, the gentleman promised to buy her whatever she wanted. How did the young lady get out of the situation? The woman brought her first admirer to a clothing store, where she chose an expensive coat. The man paid, and they both left. The next day, the lady came to the same place with her second admirer and acquired the same coat. The third time she visited the store herself in order to return one of the purchases. Voila! Neither of her admirers was going to suspect her of returning his gift, and she had the cash she needed. Two girls, Susan and Gabrielle, differed from other people. They always told the truth, except for their birthdays. On their birthdays, the girls only told a lie. One day, on June 15th, each of the girls was asked when her birthday was. Susan said her birthday was the day before. Gabrielle replied that her birthday was going to be the next day. The next day, the girls were asked the same question, and oddly enough, they answered the same. Try to figure out when Susan and Gabrielle's birthdays are. Susan answered yesterday, twice in a row, so she lied once and told the truth once, which means that one of these days is her birthday. Let's say Susan's birthday is on June 15th. On this day, she lied, answering yesterday. And the next day, she told the truth, answering yesterday. Likewise, on the 15th of June, Gabrielle told the truth, answering that her birthday was the next day. On her birthday, June 16th, she lied again, answering tomorrow. So, Susan's birthday is on June 15th, and Gabrielle has her birthday on June 16th. In a grocery store, Claudia and her husband Jack met Elon, who, oddly enough, was the grandfather of the wife of her sister's mother-in-law's only son. I know, it's a lot. What's Elon to Claudia and Jack? Elon is Claudia's grandfather, and besides, he is the father of Jack's mother-in-law. Melissa met her guests who came to her birthday party. Catherine came before Bob, Aaron, and after Raynon. Bob arrived before Raynon, and Timothy came after Aaron. Which guest arrived last? Timothy was the last one to come. 3 guys, Dylan, Brandon, and Sean, are friends with these girls, Valerie, Polly, and Olivia. Soon, the company splits into pairs because it turns out that Polly doesn't like playing tennis. Dylan is Valerie's brother, and he often goes to the tennis court with his girlfriend. Brandon asks Dylan's sister out on a date. Who does Sean spend time with? Sean spends time with Polly. You want to send an expensive item to a friend. You have a box that is larger than the item itself. You have several padlocks with keys. The box has a ring that is more than enough for a lock. But your friend doesn't have the keys to any of your locks. What should you do if you can't send the key in an unlocked box as it may be copied? Put the item in the box and close it with a padlock. Send the box to your friend. The friend closes the box with his own padlock and sends the box back to you. You open your lock and send the box to your friend once again. He only needs to open his own lock. At school, in one of the classes, there were 4 pairs of twins. One day, all the students came to a school event with their parents, and it turned out that there were 85 people in total. How many students are in the class? Since each pair of twins most likely has different parents, then 4 pairs of twins and their parents make up 16 people. The remaining 69 people are ordinary students and their parents. Each of the non-twin students has 2 parents, so the number of non-twin students is 69 divided by 3 equals 23 students. So in total, there are 23 plus 8 equals 31 students in the class. Welcome back to our show. Before the break, Mr. Sanders here made it to our grand finale. How do you feel, Mr. Sanders? Nervous. Okay, now to win the main prize of $1 million, all you have to do is name 100 words that do not contain the letter A in 90 seconds. Start the clock. Can you help Mr. Sanders win the prize? He just needs to start counting really fast from 1 to 100. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There is no letter A in any of these numbers. Check for yourself. To crack this riddle, you need to think outside the box. A man gave one son 10 cents, and his other son was given 15 cents. What time is it? It's 1:45. The man gave away a total of 25 cents. He divided this money between 2 people. Therefore, he gave a quarter to 2. Now, this riddle is kinda tricky, but I believe in your logical thinking skills. You can easily tile an 8x8 chessboard with 32 2x1 tiles, meaning that you can place these 32 tiles on the board and cover every square. But if you take away two opposite corners from the chessboard, it will become impossible to tile this new 62-square board. Can you explain why tiling this board isn't possible? Let's color our chessboard, alternating with red and blue tiles. Then we need to color all of your tiles. Half of each tile should be red, and the other half should be blue. Whenever you place a tile down, you can always make it so that the red part of the tile is on a red square, and the blue part of the tile is on a blue square. Since you'll need to place 31 tiles on the board to cover all 62 squares, you would have to be able to cover 31 red squares and 31 blue squares. But by taking away the two corners, you're taking away 2 red squares, leaving 30 red squares and 32 blue squares. There is no way to cover 30 red squares and 32 blue squares with 31 tiles, since these tiles can only cover 31 red squares and 31 blue squares. And thus, tiling this board is not possible. Jason agreed to look after his friend's dog while the guy was away. He fell in love with a cute little Pomeranian, but Jason's wife and kids didn't like the pup. One evening, the man came back from work and discovered the dog was missing. Jason called the police. When they arrived, they started questioning Karen, Jason's wife. The woman said she had been sleeping all day. Then the police officer asked, "And what were the children doing?" "They were playing in the yard. Then I told them to go inside and do their homework." After that, the woman was accused of kicking the dog out. How did the police officer figure out it was Karen? The woman claimed she'd been sleeping all day. But then, how could she tell the kids to go outside? Stephen called the police to report his valuables were missing. When the police arrived, the man told them his story. "I went on a camping trip alone. I just had gotten there and set up my tent when it started to rain heavily. I hurried to find some dry firewood. I left my bag with my wallet and all the documents inside the tent. When I came back, everything was gone." The police officers didn't believe Stephen and fined him for making a false call. How did they understand the man was lying? Stephen said he had set up the tent before it started to rain. But then, why is there a big puddle inside? Paul has been driving for 7 hours on the freeway. Suddenly, his tire bursts. He calls for help, but the service worker says it will cost him $300. Paul gets angry. He's thirsty, hungry, and doesn't have any money. He's still sitting in the car when suddenly a miracle happens. 3 doors appear out of nowhere.
Wow.
Each door has a sign above showing where they lead. There's a bunch of delicious food behind the first door. Burgers, spaghetti, lobster, and pizza. The second door hides all sorts of beverages, from energy drinks to sodas and iced teas. And finally, there's $1 million in cash behind the third door. Which door should Paul open first? First of all, Paul has to open his car door. Someone breaks into Nina's apartment the day before Halloween. She returns home from work, sees the mess, and calls the police. The door doesn't have any signs of a break-in, but one of the windows is open. The detective questions Nina's neighbors. Mrs. Bold says,
I was knitting a pair of gloves for my great-granddaughter.
Ethan says, I was working a 14-hour shift the day before, so I was sleeping all day. And Dan says, I had broken my leg, and I didn't leave home for 3 weeks. Who's guilty? It's Ethan. He was the only one able to climb into a window. Mia is hiking in the forest and gets lost. She comes across a witch's house. The witch offers to teleport Mia home, but there's a twist. 5 doors appear in front of Mia. The witch says,
Only one of them will take you home. And you only have one chance to choose the right door. The door you need is black. It's not next to the leftmost or the rightmost door. It's not the door in the middle either.
which door should Mia choose? Mia has only 3 black doors to choose from. It's not the door next to the leftmost or the rightmost one, so the 4th door can be eliminated. It can't be the middle door as well. Therefore, Mia should enter the door on the left. Polly is trying to break into an ice castle to save her friend Edward, but there's a combination lock on the gate. Luckily, there's a clue carved in the ice here. The 162 combination. Only one number is correct and in the right place. As for the 842 combination, 2 numbers are actually correct, but in the wrong places. 526, nothing is correct. Can you help Polly crack the code? The passcode is 184. First, we exclude 2 and 6 because in the 3rd combination, no number is correct. In 842, 2 numbers are correct. So now we can conclude that the code contains 8 and 4. The last number must be 1, and since 1 is in its place, we can easily figure out where 8 and 4 should go.
Yes!
Anna wakes up in a dark dungeon without remembering what happened.
Oh, God.
She looks around and sees a metal door. Unfortunately, it's locked, and it requires not just 1 password, but 4. Anna has just 1 attempt to make it right. Gladly, next to the door, there's a sign with 4 words: apple, bread, chair, and dress. Can you guess the passwords for each keyhole? Let's take a closer look at the shapes of each keyhole and the shapes of the passwords.
Oh.
Some letters are bigger than others, and each word can fit right in. So bread should be put in the first keyhole. Apple fits into the second one, and the dress goes into the third keyhole. And finally, the chair should be put fourth.
Oh.
Take a look at these people. One of them is not a real human. Can you guess who? It's the lady on the left, who eats a main course with a dessert spoon. What about this picture? Who looks suspicious? This guy. There's no reason to wear a warm coat. Can you spot a guest from another planet in this cafe? It's this lady. She's reading a magazine upside down. Leo opens a new art gallery. He needs to hire a manager to handle it. Leo finds these 3 candidates online and studies their profiles. Steve has recently graduated from college, but he's already completed several internships at fancy art galleries. Bella has been working in Europe for several years, and now she's looking for job opportunities in her hometown to be closer to her family. And Frank has 15 years of work experience. Unfortunately, one of these candidates is a liar. Can you guess who? Take a look at Leo's calendar. It's 2023 now. According to Frank's birthday, he should be around 22 years old at the moment. Therefore, he can barely have a 15-year work experience. Rick works for a large financial company. He gets outside the office and goes to the parking lot to go to a business meeting. but he doesn't find his Mercedes in the parking lot. He immediately calls the police. The police officers soon find Rick's car and start to chase the criminal, but he leaves the car and escapes to the park. The police search the arena and find 3 suspects. "What are you doing here?" Nick says, "I'm jogging here." Mike says, "I'm just waiting for a taxi to pick me up." And Peter says,
I'm just walking and enjoying nature.
"Who stole the car?" Mike. He's hiding a car key with the Mercedes logo. Kelly wakes up in a haunted hallway. To get outside, she needs to enter one of these 3 doors. But each option has a hidden danger. Venomous scorpions are crawling behind the first door. There's a siren behind the second door. She can turn any human into a zombie with her singing. And there's a fire-breathing dragon behind the third door. Which door is more or less safe for Kelly to choose? Kelly can put on her soundproof headphones and walk through the second door. Yes! Mary goes to a jazz club after work. It's almost empty, but there's one handsome gentleman sitting in a chair next to a mirrored wall. Mary falls in love at first sight. She approaches him and introduces herself.
Hello.
But suddenly, Mary changes her mind. Why?
Oh.
The gentleman doesn't reflect in the mirror, so he's either a ghost or a vampire. Bob decides to go play basketball with his friends. Can you spot anything odd here? There's no hoop. Can you spot any mistakes in this picture? The ice cream cart lacks a wheel, and the lettering is wrong. Vicky arrives at her apartment after 2 hours of absence. Wow, there's a huge fruit basket by her door. The card says it's from a secret admirer. Vicky questions her neighbors. Mrs. Green says, "I've been walking my dog in a park for 3 hours. Then we grabbed some groceries and went home." Andrew says, "I left my apartment about 5 minutes ago to do some laundry in the basement. I only have 1 set of bed linen, so I have to wash it regularly. The basket was already at your door, but I didn't see anyone." Jacqueline says, "I was taking a bath. I turned the music loud so I couldn't hear anything from the corridor." Who's lying? Andrew said he has only 1 bedding set, and it should be inside the washing machine at the moment. But take a look at his apartment. His bed sheets are still on the bed, so his story must be fake. Can you spot a guest from another planet? This lady is too tolerant of heat. This gentleman has a knife instead of an arm. And this one didn't break the eggs before cooking them. Richard wants to rent a studio apartment in Boston. He asks an agent to find the property of his dreams. The agent comes up with 4 options, but only one of them is trustworthy. Can you help Richard make the right choice? The first studio looks very classy and chic, but the ceiling is leaking. According to the description, the second apartment was built centuries ago, so it just can't look so high-tech and fancy. As for the fourth option, it's too overpriced for a property that is located next to a toxic factory. So Richard should pick the third studio. Although it looks pretty messy, he can easily fix it. Stephen was exploring caverns during his summer trip to Egypt. He had lost count of how many amazing artifacts he had found down there. He photographed each one of them, never touching them, of course. You never know which one of them is cursed, right? But on his way out of the caverns, he had to flee from a bundle of crawling snakes and he ended up ripping a piece of his photographs. Take a look at a montage of Steven's photographs. Can you figure out what the object is supposed to be? Let's see. That's an old-style genie lamp for sure. That's a vase. And I'm guessing that's supposed to be a golden crown, right? According to Steven, you're right on the spot. Jenna had a 10-hour flight connection ahead of her. So she headed to the airport's game station and tried playing a new game. She had to figure out what's missing in this image. Can you help her out? Oh, there it is! You've got a sharp eye, huh? Amy got lost in a forest and ran into a house in the middle of nowhere. She knocked to ask for help and a witch answered. The witch invited Amy inside and offered her a coffee. And when Amy tried to leave, the witch wouldn't let her. She said Amy had to pass a memory test, and if she got everything correctly, then the witch would let her go. She showed Amy an old book, a pair of rusty earrings, and a bracelet. Take a look at these images and help Amy pick the correct version of every object the witch showed her. Yeah, that was the book. These earrings look pretty much the same, but it's the one on the left. And oh, yes, this one was certainly the correct bracelet. Finally, Amy got everything correctly and the witch let her go. But as she was walking in the forest trying to find her way home, the witch appeared in front of her again. Except that this time, it was another witch. Amy was confused, but they looked pretty similar. Can you take a look at both witches and try to find their differences? Yep, their shoes were different colors. Oh, and the witch on the left has a mole and the other one doesn't. Good job. Marion has to unlock her cell phone, but the device is trying to play a game with her first. Can you help her figure out which piece is missing here? Ah, that's the right one there. Alice was at a crowded concert. Suddenly, she felt somebody reaching into her bag and pulling out her credit card wallet. She couldn't see who the person was, but after checking the footage from the surveillance cameras, security guards were able to narrow it down to 3 suspects. Johnny said he was waiting in line to use the toilet for hours and didn't have anything to do with the theft. Jenny said she was super rich and didn't need anyone else's cards to pay for the things she wanted. Penny said she was too focused on singing along with the band to notice what had happened. The security guards immediately figured out who the thief was. Can you figure it out too? Well, nobody told Jenny that the wallet only had credit cards, but somehow she still knew it. She must have stolen it. Edward was the town's most beloved vampire. One day, he woke up in somebody else's dirty dungeon without having any clue of how he ended up there. In front of him, a really high-tech touchscreen materialized, and it told him that he had to answer everything correctly in order to be let loose once again. The first image appears to be an incomplete puzzle. Can you help Edward figure out the missing piece here? I knew you wouldn't disappoint. Way to go, you! Now how about this one? Well, I would never have guessed that was the one, but I'm glad you did. Okay, there's one more apparently, and then Edward is free again. Aha! I think Edward would never have been able to do this without you. Congrats! Susan and her family went on vacation to a country house, but unfortunately, it was raining heavily. It kept raining for 13 days. When it rained in the morning, the afternoon was beautiful and clear. And when it rained in the afternoon, the next day was filled with a clear and nice morning. Overall, Susan's family experienced 11 nice mornings and 12 nice afternoons. Can you find out the total number of days they spent in the country house? The total number was 18 days. Here's why. Let's call clear afternoons X, clear mornings Z, and no rain periods O. This equation represents the number of days with rain. X plus Z equals 13. Z plus O equals 11 are the days with clear mornings. And X plus O equals 12 represents days with clear afternoons. If we solve these three equations, we'll learn that X equals 7, Z equals 6, and O equals 5. So the total number of days is 18. Barbara was playing Truth or Dare with some of her friends, and her friends dared her to walk into an abandoned mansion in the middle of the night. To enter the house, there was a door with a 5-digit combination lock. Barbara looked around for some clues and found a piece of paper with 5 digits: 8, 11, 6, 9. She tried this code, but it wouldn't work. Soon she realized what was wrong. Can you tell us why as well? She was holding the paper upside down. The correct code is 6, 9, 11, 8. Finally, she got inside the main house. In the living room, she discovered the mansion was not that abandoned after all. There were 4 ladies waiting for her. Each of them offered to guide Barbara around the house. Which woman do you think is the safest choice? Well, the first woman didn't cast a shadow, so she's probably a vampire. The third woman had a vampire bite on her neck, which means she would turn into a vampire pretty soon. The fourth lady had snake bites in her hair, which means a big no-no. That means Barbara was left with lady number 2 as her guide. To pass through a secret door, Barbara needed to find the missing piece of the door's pattern. Can you help her find it? Ah, that's the one. Good job! Just like magic, her guide was waiting for her on the other side of the door. The guide told her she needed to choose between the 3 drinks lying on the table in front of them. The thing was that only one of the drinks was not poison. The drinks were tea with sugar, a cappuccino, and hot chocolate. Which one do you think she should choose? Let's see, if it was indeed sugar in the tea, it would have melted completely, but the sugar cubes are still there. The foam on top of the cappuccino is suspiciously green, so probably unsafe to drink. So I guess the hot chocolate it is. Frank was a private investigator, and he had just received a message revealing the address of the town's most dangerous criminal, Dirty Jack. He decided to go check the area even if he didn't know what the criminal looked like. The address turned out to be an old warehouse, and when he busted inside, he found 4 people sitting at a table playing poker. The 4 people were a carpenter, a truck driver, a mechanic, and a fireman. Without any hesitation or communication, Frank arrested the fireman. How did he know that he was a criminal? The fireman was the only male in the room. The rest of the poker players were women. This street has a secret. There's a tiger hiding somewhere in it. Can you find it? Oh, it's just on the logo of that store right there. A vet's office is always an interesting picture. Can you find the hidden turtle in this picture? She was shyly hiding under the desk. Poor turtle.
Hannah woke up in a high-tech castle. She was greeted by a flying robot that told her she was captured by the mysterious Byron bot, and he only released his prisoners once they aced his game. The robot wished Hannah good luck and evaporated into thin air. A huge screen showed Hannah her first challenge. Look at this crossword puzzle and see if you can identify which word is repeated twice. It's the word taste. Way to go! You helped Hannah advance to the next level. In the next chamber, there are 3 vault doors leading to different places. But apparently, each door holds a different type of danger. Behind the first door, there are hundreds of robot crabs that burn anything with their laser eyes. Behind the middle door, there's a weather simulator that runs throughout the daytime. It varies from earthquakes to tornadoes and huge waves. And the last door contains robotic cheetahs trained to harm any outside visitor. Which door should Hannah choose? She should go for the second door. You see, the simulator only runs during the day. She should wait until it's nighttime and cross that tunnel. Whew! Hannah made it to the main hall. In this luxurious living room, a huge screen popped from the floor showing her a riddle. What letter from the English alphabet is missing in this image? This one is tricky, but it's the letter U. The flying robot appeared once again, telling Hannah she passed to the third phase of the game. Here, the mysterious Byron bot wants to test her memory. It showed Hannah a series of objects: an old book, a pair of wireless headphones, and virtual reality goggles. Take a look at these images and help Hannah pick the correct version of every object the robot showed her. Yes, that was the book. These headphones look pretty much the same, but it's the one on the left. And oh yes, this one is certainly the correct goggle. A huge door opened up and led her to the pool area. A huge projector showed Hannah's next challenge. She needed to figure out what letter comes next in this sequence. Can you figure out the answer to this one? The answer is the letter E. Here's how this one works. The sequence represents the first letter of the numbers 10 to 17. The number that should come next in the sequence is the number 18, which begins with the letter E. Way to go, Hannah, and all the geniuses that figured this one out. Amazingly, Hannah did get it right. So she was taken to a VIP lounge, where only the greatest contestants were taken. Before her next round, the mysterious bot asked his staff to serve Hannah a drink. She had to choose between 3 beverages, but when one of the servers came to give her the drinks, they told her only one drink wasn't poisoned. Take a look at the tray. Can you figure out which drink Hannah should pick? Let's see. The first one is supposed to be a cappuccino, but it's green, so that's a no-no. The one in the middle has a red light sparkling at the bottom of the cup. I have no idea what that is, but it could be a heat detector that releases a poison once it gets to Hannah's mouth. And the last one looks just like a normal soda, so she should go for that one. For her next challenge, Hannah had to figure out what number is next on this huge sequence. Can you help her out? Yikes, that was hard. But the correct answer is 13112221. You should count aloud the first sequence that appears. The answer reveals itself that way. Whew! Finally, Hannah was able to finish all the challenges that the mysterious bot had in store for her, so he had no other option than to let her go. As she was running down the street, the flying robot appeared before her once again, except that this time it was another robot. Hannah was confused because they looked pretty similar. Take a look at both robots. Can you find their differences? Yup, that robot on the left is missing one of his buttons. This one doesn't mean Hannah any harm, he was just trying to play a prank. Trying to get home, Hannah got lost in the forest near her neighborhood. She ended up at the entrance to a cave. She decided to explore inside, but after a few hours, she noticed she was lost. Suddenly, she found two possible exits, but each tunnel had a guard on the door. One of the guards told her that both of the tunnels led to traps. Hannah asked the other guard if she could trust this information, and the guard said no. In that cave, only one guard told the truth, while the other always lied. To verify which guard was telling the truth, Hannah decided to ask them both the same question. Which question did Hannah ask the guards? Hannah asked, would the other guards say these tunnels lead to the exit? If they answered no, then Hannah would know she was safe to follow the tunnels and get out of the cave. The next day, Hannah showed up at school after missing class for quite some time. Her teacher was angry that she skipped a week's worth of school and wrote a math problem on the board for her to solve. She had to find the biggest number on the board in front of her entire class. Luckily, she got the answer correct. Take a look at the board. Do you know what Hannah answered? The biggest number here is the last option, 3.01. The following week, Hannah received an invitation to be part of Dr. Kurt's next mission to the planet Jupiter. It took a decade for them to arrive on the planet. As soon as they arrived, they retrieved a special sample from the planet, and Dr. Kurt put it in the refrigerator. The next morning, when he opened the fridge, he noticed that the sample was gone. "It was here last night. How could it have disappeared?" he shouted. Nobody entered or left the lab after he put the sample in the fridge, so it must have been someone from inside that did it. Dr. Kurt decided to investigate the case himself. Hannah said that she had spent the last 2 hours next to the microscope trying to figure out the genetic pattern of another sample they found on Mars. Rosie claimed that she spent the last hours in the napping room because she pulled an all-nighter the night before. Cam said he had been doing repair work on the Freedom Lander that broke down the previous week. After interviewing them all, Dr. Kurt realized who took the samples. Can you figure it out too? It was Cam. He said he spent the entire morning fixing a vehicle. But take a look at his hands. They should be dirty, but they're super clean. There's no way he had time to wash off all that grease. As soon as Hannah got back from her long space trip, she tried opening her suitcase. That's when she realized she forgot the code to open it. Luckily, she left herself a note to help her decipher the code of the lock. This is the note. 682. One digit is right and in its place. 614. One digit is right but in the wrong place. 206. Two digits are right but both are in the wrong place. 768. All digits are wrong. 380. One digit is right but in the wrong place. Can you figure out the 3-digit code? It's 042. Happily, Hannah opens her suitcase. Unhappily, she now faces a new task: washing 10 years' worth of dirty laundry. Ew.
Holly, Polly, and Molly are standing side by side in swimsuits. Holly and Polly are sad, and Molly is happy. but the sad women smile while the happy one is crying. Why? This is a beauty contest. Molly's won the Beauty Queen crown and she's crying with happiness. Mike is a backpacker. He wants to cut his hair and shave after a long journey. So he stays in a small town with 2 hairdressers only. Mike enters the first barbershop and looks around. Everything is tidy and chic. The design is amazing. The hairdresser, Zach, greets Mike and offers his services. He looks just as chic as his salon. His outfit and hairstyle are beautiful and he's freshly shaved. Mike decides to check the second hairdresser out before making any decisions. He enters the second salon and sees a sloppy interior. The floors aren't swept and the furniture is old. The second hairdresser, Frank, is just as unkempt as his salon. He's poorly shaved and his haircut is bad. Mike decides to use Frank's services. Why? Since there's only 2 hairdressers in the city, it means that Zach shaved and cut Frank and vice versa. Therefore, Frank does the better job. Ron and Megan are best friends forever. Ron has an equal number of siblings. Megan has 3 times as many sisters as Ron, and only as many as Ron's parents have children. How many sisters does Megan have, and how many siblings does Ron have? Ron has 1 brother and 1 sister, and Megan has 3 sisters. An evil wizard bewitched 3 ladies, Rose, Lily, and Daisy. He turned them into flowers. Now they're supposed to stay in his garden. Yet at night, one of them can come home and stay there for a while. In the morning, the wizard's spell will return her back to the garden and turn her back into a flower. It's Lily's turn to go out. She visits her boyfriend David and tells him, "If you come to the field before noon today, you'll see me in the form of a flower. Rip me off and I'll be free from witchcraft and stay with you." David follows her instructions, but all the flowers are identical. How can he recognize his girlfriend? Since Lily spent the night in his house and not in the field, she shouldn't be covered with any dew. This is the sign that will help David recognize her. Kyle is exploring an abandoned village. Can you help him find any batteries or food here? Over here. What about this house? Can you spot any jewelry here? Ready to see the answer? There's a golden watch hanging among the building tools. Let's take a look at this interior. Can you spot any animals here? Hello? Mrs. Green is a pretty elderly lady. She doesn't want to overwork and hires an assistant to clean her house, Shelley. They agree that Shelley will come every Sunday and do a certain job and get $2 per visit. But if Shelley doesn't show up for some reason, Mrs. Green will charge her $3. After 15 weeks, Mrs. Green owes Shelley the same sum as Shelley owes her. How many times did Shelley skip work? Shelley went to work 9 times and earned $18. She skipped work for 6 days and lost the same amount. Sam is a former sailor who lives on a farm. One day, he decides to go to the city to do a bunch of things. He buys a new coat at a clothing store. Then he buys some millet for his beloved canary in the Hungry Bird shop. After that, Sam goes to the hairdresser to get a haircut. And finally, he visits the city bank to receive his salary. At this time of the year, banks are only open on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. All the hairdressers, on the other hand, are closed on Saturdays. The Hungry Bird is closed on Thursdays and Fridays. Can you figure out the day of the week when Sam went to the town? On Tuesday. Henry got lost in a maze. He can step on the swamp bumps, but he should definitely stay away from the zombie burrows. Can you help him escape? Ready to see the correct route? He should move this way. Jim and his wife are going to a restaurant. The problem is that their mothers decided to join them, but Jim has a small two-seater car. His mother doesn't get along either with his wife or her mother. How should Jim organize the trip to avoid any family drama? Jim should take his mother to the restaurant first. Then he should return for his wife, give her a ride, and leave her in the restaurant. Then he should give his mother a ride back home and leave her there. And take his mother-in-law to the restaurant so that she could join Jim's wife. And finally, Jim should return for his mother. Tyler is changing a tire on his car. Suddenly, he drops all the four-wheel nuts onto a skewer grate. He can't get them out. Tyler is desperate. But thankfully, Billy is walking by. He comes up with an idea that will allow Tyler to continue on his way. Do you suggest some way of attaching the wheel? Oh yeah. Do I need to get the fallen nuts out for this? Oh no. Do I need to use any attachments that are not usually found in the car? Oh no. Is it a smart idea? Easy to put into practice? Oh yeah. What's the idea? Billy suggested unscrewing one nut from each of the three wheels and fixing the fourth wheel with them. This way, Tyler will be able to drive to the nearest repair service on firmly fixed wheels. Alice is meeting her new boyfriend, Kyle. He invites her to a boat party. The guys go up on deck and meet the captain, Andrew. He has loads of cool stories. I survived a shipwreck this year. 5 months on a deserted island. I just shaved for the first time in 15 months. Kyle's very impressed, but Alice doesn't believe him. Is the captain lying or not? He had a beard for the last 5 months. The skin on his cheeks and chin should be lighter. Liar! Monica is a college teacher. It's the day of a very important exam. She distributes tests among her students. Let's begin. Good luck, everyone. But suddenly, the fire alarm systems to blare loudly. Everybody leaves the class and goes outside. But it turns out to be a false alarm. 15 minutes later, Monica and her students return to the class. Oh no! Someone stole a paper with the test answers from Monica's desk. She questions 4 suspects. Kim says, "My alarm didn't work this morning, so I was late for the test. I arrived just now and entered the class with everyone else." Nellie says, "Why would I need to steal the answers? I'm the best student." Paul says, "I heard some guys in the toilet whispering about the fire alarm. Maybe they sabotaged the exams on purpose." And Mike says, "I was sitting by the window, so when I heard the fire alarm, I jumped out of the window and ran as far away from the building as possible." Who's lying? Kim. She was among the students when Monica distributed the tests, so she wasn't late for the test. Tilda takes a flight to Florida to visit her sister. She takes a brief nap. After a while, she wakes up and finds out that her fancy sunglasses are gone. Tilda questions 3 people nearby. Lauren says, "I was watching a movie. I didn't look around." Serge says, "Sorry, I was sleeping too." And Rose says, "Look, lady, I've just purchased the coolest sunnies in the world. Why would I need yours?" Who's the thief? Nobody. Tilda lost her sunglasses on her own head.
It's the finale of the Big Money Buzz Show, and Natalie is faced with a difficult task. There are 3 fish bowls, each of them containing a different amount of gold bars inside. If she manages to put her hand inside one of the bowls and take it out, she can keep the gold bar. The first bowl has scalding hot water inside of it. The second is filled with flesh-burning acid. And the last bowl has a couple of venomous scorpions walking around. Which bowl should she choose? Natalie should just wait until the water cools down and grab the gold bar from the first bowl. Bob was blindfolded and put into a shaky van. When he woke up, he was alone in a dark, empty room. There was nobody there, but there were 3 envelopes on the floor. A post-it on top of the envelope said, "Each envelope contains a red capsule and 2 statements. In one of these envelopes, both statements are false. In another envelope, both statements are true. You have to choose the correct capsule to get out of this alive." He opened the first envelope, saw a capsule and the messages: 1. Don't take this pill. 2. Take the pill from the second envelope. On the second envelope, the note said: 1. Don't take the pill from the first envelope. 2. Take the pill from the third envelope. And the last envelope said: 1. Don't take this pill. 2. Take the pill from the first envelope. Well, which capsule should Bob take? He should trust the pill from the third envelope. Let's see why. The first message of the first envelope is true, while the second is false. Both messages from the second envelope are true. This leaves us with 2 false statements on the third envelope. Timothy and Diana were strolling in a magic forest together when they ran into an evil witch. The witch captured Diana and took her to a haunted castle. Timothy managed to find the hidden castle and watched as the witch turned Diana into a frog. When the witch left the room, he snuck inside to turn Diana back into human form. He found a spell book that could help him and found out the recipe for the magic potion he had to make. He recognized most of the ingredients, but the last 2 were encrypted. Take a look at the witch's ingredient cabinet and try to help Timothy discover the last 2 ingredients he needs to make the magic potion. You got it! That's exactly what he needs. The day started busy in Fabertown. The police station got a call saying an undercover vampire was passing as a teacher at Middle Moon Elementary School. The officer went down there to check and found 3 possible suspects. Take a look at them and see if you can guess who the vampire is. It's the one in the middle. She's wearing sunglasses inside the cafeteria and drinking a very suspicious red drink. Yikes! Eric was coming home from a night out. As he reached the gate of his apartment, he heard the sound of someone bawling. He looked around, but no one was there. That's when he noticed something that scared him, and he shouted, "Ghosts! Ghosts! Someone help me!" Look at the image. Can you identify what Eric saw that scared him so much? The gate lamp isn't attached to the pole. It's floating in the air and somehow still shining bright. Well, this isn't right. Then Eric called his best friend, who also happened to be a renowned ghost hunter. That's convenient. His buddy Ray arrives, and his ghost watch immediately starts beeping. It leads them to the building's pool. At the pool, they see a girl swimming. Eric shouts, "Hey, why are you swimming in the pool so late at night? Here, let me help you get out." But Ray stops him, saying, "Don't do that." Why did Ray do it? Look at the pool. The girl is swimming, but there is no movement in the water. She must be a ghost. On the other side of town, Bobby is also ghost hunting. He called his friend Susan to visit the town's old creepy hotel and bust some ghosts. As they arrive, they find clear signs of ghost activity. It looked like that ghost had a sense of humor, though, and wanted to play hide and seek with them. The ghost led Bobby and Susan into a room with 4 doors. Each door had an inscription on it with clues to where the ghost might be hiding. The sign on door A says, "It's behind B or C." The sign behind door B says, "It's behind A or D." Door C says, "It's in here." And door D claims, "The ghost isn't here." Bobby and Susan looked very confused until a note appeared next to their feet saying, "3 of the inscriptions are false and 1 is true." Can you guess which door led to the ghost? Let's see how this would work. If the ghost was behind door A, then both B and D would be true. But if it was behind door B, then both A and D would be true. If the ghost was behind door C, then A, C, and D are all true. But if the ghost was behind door D, then the statements on all the other doors were false, except for that on door B. This matched the rules, so it was behind door D. To get into the best Halloween party in town, Becky had to solve a difficult riddle. There were 2 hourglasses in front of her. One hourglass measures 7 minutes, and the other measures 4 minutes. She needed to time 9 minutes using both hourglasses. How could she do it? First, she turned both hourglasses at the same time. By the time the 4-minute glass finished, there were still 3 minutes left on the other one. She flipped the 4-minute glass again. By the time the 7-minute glass was empty, there was 1 minute left on the other glass. And by the time the 4-minute glass emptied again, there was 1 minute's worth of sand in the bottom half of the 7-minute timer. She flipped it over again, so there's 1 minute's worth of sand on the top of the glass. And when the 7-minute timer finally emptied again, 9 minutes elapsed in total. Whew, that took some work. Jessica was on a trip to the desert when she got separated from her group. She noticed a sandstorm was coming her way. She had 3 options for what to do. She could try to run away from the sandstorm, she could hide behind a big rock, or she could try hiding in the desert's dry riverbed. Which one is Jessica's best option? Well, the first option is a terrible idea, as she will never run faster than a sandstorm. The riverbed is also not such a good idea, as it's too low, and the sand from the storm can fill the entire hole in no time. Her best option would be to hide behind a big rock. After the storm passed, Jessica used the radio to send an SOS signal to the guide. The guide told her to sit tight. A rescue team would shortly be on its way to help her. In a few hours, 3 rescue teams came to help Jessica. She got suspicious and asked all the teams who had sent them. The first team said that they had heard the news on the radio that a woman was lost in the desert and came quickly to aid her. The second team said that the hotel she was staying in called the police for help. The last team said they received a radio call saying a woman was in distress and quickly came to help. Which rescue team should she trust? The last team. Jessica sent a message to her guide as soon as the storm was over, remember?
Detective Brightbrain was sitting in his office when his phone rang. Richard Brooks, a jeweler, said he had just been robbed. Brightbrain arrived immediately at the boutique, and Mr. Brooks explained what happened.
I spent the entire morning showing diamond rings to a gentleman in a gray suit. He was extremely polite and knew a lot about diamonds. When I looked down to grab the store's most expensive ring, I felt someone hit me on the head. I fell forward, and when I woke up, the guy was gone.
Bright Brain didn't ask any more questions. Instead, he wrote a report saying Mr. Brooks wasn't robbed. He was actually faking the whole thing. Take a look at the scene. How did Bright Brain come to that conclusion? If Mr. Brooks fell forward, the weight of his body would have broken the glass counter in front of him. And look, there's not even a scratch. The next day, Bright Brain was driving to work when he got hit by a red Chevrolet. The guy got away pretty fast, but the detective managed to see the car's license plate began with 62. Back at the office, Bright Brain tracked down the possible owner of the vehicle, Mr. Neander. The detective arrived at Mr. Neander's house together with the police and immediately saw a red Chevrolet with a 62 license plate in the yard, but there weren't any signs of a collision. Bright Brain interrogated the subject, but Mr. Neander said,
I swear it wasn't me. I haven't left the house in 2 days, and I can't use my car because I lost the keys a week ago.
Bright Brain approached the vehicle and leaned on the hood of the car to peep inside. He immediately said, I know you're lying. How was Bright Brain so sure? The detective tried the simplest way to detect whether a car had been recently used. He checked the temperature of the motor. As the hood was still warm, this showed that Mr. Neander was lying. During the month of December, a gang of robbers was operating in Bentonville. They walked dressed up as Santa Claus and broke into houses through chimneys. They put valuable goods into their Santa bags and walked straight out the door. When the neighbors saw them, they thought they were the real Santa. Finally, the police caught the entire gang. However, one of them claimed he was the real Santa and shouldn't be convicted for crimes he didn't commit. Detective Bright Brain was called to handle the case because he had seen the real Santa once when he was still a little child. He recalled that Santa was medium height. He was wearing a coat with 6 buttons, and there was a pocket on the right. He also said that Santa's belt buckle was square. Take a look at the footage from the police station. Can you figure out who the real Santa is? It's the second one on the right. He fits all of Bright Brain's descriptions. It was raining when Bright Brain decided to drive down to the gym. Halfway there, a woman stopped his car asking for help. She said someone had just bumped into her car and drove away. When the detective took a look around, the only person next to the place of the incident was a man fixing his tire. The lady said that was the car that bumped into hers. But when Bright Brain went to talk to the man, he said it couldn't be true because he was busy fixing his car the whole time. Can you tell who's lying? It's the guy fixing his car. The rain just recently started, which means that if he was fixing his car the whole time, the ground underneath it would have been dry. But look, it's wet. This means he's just arrived there and was actually the one responsible for the incident. The next day, Bright Brain left his girlfriend's house directly to his office building. He was late for work, so he ignored several stop signs along the way. A police car passed by him exactly at the moment he was turning the wrong way onto a one-way street, but the officers didn't arrest him. Why? Because the detective was walking, not driving a car. Duh! Around 8 in the morning the next day, Detective Bright Brain was on his way to get coffee when he saw a robbery happen. A masked person ran off with a woman's wallet. The detective ran after the thief and saw him entering a coffee shop. When Bright Brain went inside, he searched for the thief but couldn't find them. The person had taken their mask off. He told the coffee shop owner that one of their clients was a thief, and the owner closed down the shop so that the detective could question the people there. The first person he interrogated was Allie. She said she had been in the coffee shop for the last 3 hours, working on her laptop. Brian said he had just come inside to get an espresso to go. Catherine said she had just started eating her breakfast and didn't see anything suspicious going on. Lastly, he interrogated John, the coffee shop owner. He said he opened the shop at 7 a.m. and hadn't left the place since then. Bright Brain knew immediately who had done it. Can you guess who it was? It was Allie. She said she'd been in the shop for the past 3 hours, but the shop had just opened at 7 o'clock. At his office, Bright Brain received a strange text message from his workmate, Harry. The text said, "Zucchini is in the fridge. Otherwise, I'm fine. Okay?" The weird text made the detective think there was a message hidden inside. After a few minutes, he found a hidden word in the message. Can you guess what it was? If you pay attention closely, the first letter of each line can be mixed together to form the word zoo. Quickly, Bright Brain grabbed his things and drove to the local zoo. He arrived at the zoo and immediately saw the entrance to a secret passageway. The passageway led him to a network of underground tunnels. At the entrance to the first tunnel, there were venomous rats. At the entrance to the second tunnel, there was an explosive about to go off in 5 minutes. And at the entrance to the last tunnel, there was toxic gas. Which tunnel should he choose? The second one, of course. He can pass through the tunnel after the explosive goes off. At the end of the tunnel, he found himself in a dark room. As soon as he entered, the door locked behind him and he was stuck. The room was empty except for another door at the other end of the room. That door was sealed with a letter combination lock. There was a slip of paper with the following hint written on it: P plus 3, N minus 1, B minus 1, N plus 4, S plus 1. What's the code word? It took Bright Brain a while to figure it out, but he was able to crack the code. The code word was SMART. The key to this riddle was hidden in the alphabet. P plus its 3 following letters is S. N minus 1 letter is M, and so on. Phew, the door opened and led him to another room where he finally met Harry. Bright Brain untied his workmate and told him he was going to get them out of that situation. But when he looked around, he noticed they were standing at the bottom of a very deep well. Looking up, they could see the clear blue sky, but it looked like there was no way out. The detective felt soil falling onto their heads, and he feared they were going to be buried in mud. Luckily, in an hour, both men made it out of the well alive. How did they manage to get out? They managed to tamp down the soil that was falling into the well. This way, they would get closer and closer to the surface until they managed to jump out and run away. That's it for Bright Brain's adventure today. That was a lot.
Oliver is walking in the rain. Suddenly, he sees a woman without an umbrella or hat. But she's not getting wet at all. How is this possible? The woman is walking inside a covered area, such as a covered sidewalk. 4 friends go hiking and take a picture by the lake. Can you spot anything weird? This guy doesn't have any reflection in the water. Sarah checks into a fancy hotel. She feels very hungry, but unfortunately Sarah missed the dinner hours. That's why she calls room service and orders a vegan dinner set. 15 minutes later, someone knocks on her door. She looks through the peephole first. Sarah. Oh great, a fake waitress. How did she know? The waitress is fake because she didn't know that Sarah ordered a vegan meal. Kelly and Kim start a quarrel on the plane. It's Kim's private jet, so she wants everything to be her way. But Kelly gets mad at her. She runs up to the exit door, opens it, and jumps out. It happens so fast that the crew don't have time to do anything. Kelly doesn't have a parachute. She breaks her leg but survives. How come? The plane had already landed. Nick is driving down the road and his car runs out of gas. He sees a cabin in the woods and decides to ask for help. When he gets there, he finds 3 people inside. They offer to help him, but only if he agrees to stay there forever. Why? Nick stumbled upon a group of runaway criminals. They're afraid that he would tell others about their location. Early in the morning, Detective Robinson receives a call from his neighbor, Ethan. Ethan, please come as soon as possible. Someone attacked my wife. Robinson arrives at Ethan's house and sees this scene. Can you guess what happened to his wife? Take a look at the calendar on the wall. They pranked the detective because it was April 1st. The city has been taken over by zombies. Let's take a look at this group. Only one of these zombies is a male. Can you guess who? The first zombie is wearing a bra, and the second one has a badge with a female picture and name. Therefore, only the third zombie is a male. Tom works in a secret agency specializing in people with psychic abilities. He's having an interview with 3 people claiming to be superheroes, but only one of them really possesses some supernatural powers. Can you help him spot this person? Take a look at the third lady. She's holding her phone with the power of her mind without even touching it. Stella and Bella go on vacation. They take 2 pictures on the beach. Can you spot 10 differences between them? You can pause the video if you need additional time. Ready to see all the 10 differences? Here they are. Steve arrives at work and turns on the corporate laptop. Oh no! Someone has changed the password. Steve looks around and finds a sticker with a clue. 32, 18, and 29. He enters the number, but it doesn't work. Can you help him crack the code? Steve should literally enter 3 2s, 1 8, and 2 9s through underscores. 222, 8, 99. Gabriel is an art teacher. He enters the studio to check his students' work. One of these people is a ghost. Can you guess who? It's the model. She's posing for a portrait, but everyone sees through her. Dan wakes up in a creepy cage. He needs to figure out a 5-number code to escape. He only has this picture as a clue. Can you help Dan crack the code? To solve this mystery, we need to count the number of legs that each object in this picture has. The human has 2 legs, the fish has 0, the ladybug has 6, the dog has 4, and finally the spider has 8 legs. So the correct code is 20648. Alex went hiking and got lost in the woods. The sun had already set when he finally found a road. 3 drivers stop and offer him a ride to the nearest village. Can you help Alex choose the safest option? There's a zombie arm sticking out of the second car's trunk, and the third driver has suspicious pointy ears and shiny eyes. So he's probably a werewolf. Therefore, Alex should probably trust the first driver. I'm very easy to lift, but very hard to throw. What am I? I'm a feather. Kim downloads a dating app hoping to find her true love. She likes these three men equally. They begin to chat, and the guys send her some selfies. Each man claims to be single. But in fact, only one of them doesn't have a girlfriend. Can you guess who? Brian sent Kim a cute bathroom selfie. But take a closer look at his shelf. He has one male razor and another pink razor, which probably belongs to his girlfriend. So goodbye, Brian. Meanwhile, Kyle took a selfie in his bedroom. Luckily, he left the closet open so we could see his girlfriend's clothes and shoes. So only Harry is a single person, and Kim should give him a chance. Jenny goes for a walk to her favorite park. Suddenly, she gets attacked by a crowd of zombies. Jenny gets terrified and begins to run away. There are 3 possible routes in front of her, but only one of them will actually take Jenny to a shelter. Can you help her escape? Jenny should choose Route C. Ethan owns a successful flower shop, but today he's very upset. Someone has stolen all the red roses from the storage room. Ethan questions 3 suspects among his staff. Leah, the chief florist, says, "I spent the whole day creating bouquets with pink lilies for a wedding ceremony." Donna, the manager, says, "I don't know who stole the roses. I didn't even enter the storage room today. I was consulting our clients all day long." And finally, Mike, the florist assistant, says, "Fresh red roses were delivered early in the morning. I brought them to the storage room, and I've never entered it again. Who's lying?" Leah. There are no pink lilies in the bouquets that she made. Lauren changes a 6-number password on the office door to avoid thefts. She leaves this little clue for all her colleagues. Bagel. Can you guess the correct code? To solve this mystery, we should calculate the number of each given letter in the alphabet. B implies 2, A implies 1, G 7, and so on. So the final password is 217512. Helen meets a handsome guy at a supermarket. She falls in love at first sight. His name is Robert, and he came here with his sister. Can you guess which one of these ladies is his sister? It's the third woman. She's the only one who's shopping without a separate cart or basket because Robert carries it. The police officer is chasing Kendra, who had just robbed a jewelry store. The teenager sneaks into the nearest school, and the officer follows her. She notices Kendra's hoodie by one of the doors and enters the classroom. There she sees 4 students who look like Kendra. Can you decide who's the real robber? This one is Kendra. She has neither books nor pens on her desk. Let's go ahead and take a look at these 2 pictures. Can you spot 10 differences between them? Ready to see the solution? Here are the 10 differences. It's a Sunday afternoon. Most people are spending it at the local shopping mall. Nothing usually happens here. But suddenly a man snatches a woman's bag and runs away. The woman calls a security guard and yells, "Don't just stand here, go after him!" But the thief has already disappeared into the crowd. Can you help the guard find the thief? He's over here. Sam gets promoted and throws a fancy party for his best friends. Josh, Kate, Brad, Bill, and Holly. Everything goes great. But the next morning, Sam finds out that someone broke into his safe and stole his family treasure, a golden egg. Sam questions his friends, but each swears to have nothing to do with the theft. The police officer looks through the pictures that Sam took yesterday. After comparing these two shots, he spots the thief. What about you? Yesterday, Holly was wearing a classy hat. In the first picture, the hat is pressed close to her head, and on the second one, the very same hat is much taller. That's because she hid the golden egg inside it. Violet returns from a business trip. She enters her office and sees a beautiful gift basket on her table. There's a love note from a secret admirer attached to the package. Violet gets very curious. She figures out 3 suspects and asks them just one question. Did you send me the gift basket? Liam replies, Nope, I would have sent you sunflowers instead. I know you love them. Jason says, I overslept today, and I've just arrived at the office, so I wouldn't have had time to prepare a surprise for you. And Kenny says, I didn't send the basket, but when I entered your room in the morning to put some documents on your desk, the basket was already there. Who's the secret admirer? The love note is written on a pink sticker. Kenny has similar sticker notes in his workspace, and his handwriting is very similar to the love note. Busted! Tyler receives a message from his new girlfriend, Kitty. She invites him over for dinner. Tyler has never been to her house yet. He takes his scooter and hits the road right away. But unfortunately, he gets lost on the way. His navigator breaks down and shows him 3 confusing routes. Can you guess what route leads to Kitty's house? Tyler should take the first route. Alex is heading to a family dinner, but he's really broke and he only has 8 chocolates. He needs to divide them equally between his 3 sisters. How many cookies would each sister get? Zero. Alex has chocolates, not cookies. Nellie's father has 5 daughters. The name of the eldest daughter is April. The second daughter is May. The third one is June. And the 4th daughter's name is July. Can you guess the name of his 5th daughter? Nellie. A gardening fair takes place in a village. The top 5 local gardeners show their best flowers, but one of them brought fake plants to prank the villagers. Can you spot the fake? Bumblebees fly around all the plants except for the 4th flower pot. Insects don't get attracted to these roses because they're artificial. Dylan is exploring a remote forest area. Soon he gets lost and has no idea where to go. Luckily, he comes across a small cabin in the woods and sees a forester. Dylan. Hello, could you please tell me how I can get to the railway station? Forester. Go down this trail until you reach a crossroads. There, you'll see a rock with signboards. Just remember, the left one lies, and the right one tells the truth. Dylan follows his advice and soon finds the rock. Can you guess which way he should go to reach the station? Since the left sign is lying and the right one is the truth, Dylan should walk straight ahead. Claire puts on a classy white suit and goes for a walk. Suddenly, a big dog pops out of nowhere and jumps on her. The dog stains Claire's outfit with dirty paws. She gets furious and yells, "Whose dog is this? Can you spot the owner of this animal?" It's the second lady. She's wearing the same collar as her dog.